Welcome YouTubers to Mystery History.
The story of Oak Island has captured the imaginations of man and boy alike for centuries. A story of pirates, mystery, and buried treasure. It has all the ingredients of a brilliant adventuristic treasure quest, missing all but one thing: the treasure. Many of you may have viewed my last two videos regarding the hunt on Oak Island. I assure you that all of the information was conveyed in good faith. However, a few of you brought to my attention suspicions surrounding artifacts that have recently come to light. I am talking, of course, of the Roman sword, supposedly found by a scallop fisherman just off of the coast of Oak Island itself. During the next few minutes, I am going to reveal some shocking new developments regarding the possible location of the treasure, new information, objects, and clues that might change our whole perceptions of the man-made structures within the islands. I am also going to be taking you on a journey to reveal the true reasons for the controversy surrounding the sword. They go much higher than you may have thought. So sit back, get out the popcorn, and enjoy. Due to new injections of funds, the examination of the money pit has been able to be cast further afield, with some startling discoveries. Firstly, a rock has been discovered on neighboring Reeks Island, that appears to have an image of a face carved into it. The reasons for the face and also its alien appearance are as yet unknown, although there are suspicions that it is connected to the treasure. Further investigation of surrounding islands found one's layout to resemble a seahorse. Other strange anomalies have been located, the most noted of which being the triangle feature on neighboring Birch Island. Also, the stone's cipher has been examined again, with some now believing that the stone itself was what the pit was for, the stone being a map of an underground layout of the islands. Yes, that's right, Keith Ranville believes the islands are connected by underground tunnels from the money pit to neighboring Birch Island, and even further. He thinks all the digging that has gone on so far has been a waste of time. He states, "The instructions at the bottom of the pit tell you about where and how to locate these shafts, and I believe they're in Mahone Bay. This is a significant Nova Scotia heritage discovery, and that it is Canada's national treasure brought here for our guardianship long before Canada was established. We should respect the civilization that is responsible for the makings of these structures. They were a very unique culture and may hold the secret to many ancient structures." He believes that Oak Island should now be preserved so that they can better establish an action plan to find the tunnels in Mahone Bay. The funding for the projects are now flowing nicely, which is very good for a man by the name of Pulitzer. Pulitzer is the main man when it comes to the show on the History Channel, that is now fueling the hunt. He is a keen believer, and a big funder into alternative history. So when a Roman sword came to light on the island, I'm sure it couldn't have made him happier. This sword is causing controversy for numerous reasons. And the fact that the History Channel are refusing to let anyone examine it, is arousing suspicion regarding its authenticity. If it is indeed authentic, however, it means the versions of history we are all taught at school is incorrect. Something Pulitzer strongly believes, and with a new museum in the pipelines, with the Ancient Artifact Preservation Society, dealing in controversial artifacts, this sword couldn't have appeared at a better time. However, convenience does not mean guilt. As of yet the sword's origins are unknown. Pulitzer and his team are not the first to put forward a theory that ancient Europeans visited the Americas in pre-Columbian times, with others also pointing to the Minoans and the Phoenicians as having visited the continent. 16th century scholar Marinus Siculo first claimed it was the Romans who discovered the New World, not Columbus. Pulitzer believes the reason for the objections surrounding the sword featured on the show are as follows, and I quote, "We have absolutely been led to believe that nothing happened on this side of the pond before Christopher Columbus. That's a church-induced concept. All the ancient records that exist make it very clear the world was circumnavigated and the world was round. But when the Catholic Church and the Romans came in, all those records were destroyed, so we had to kind of relearn this stuff. History is political on our side of the pond. There's been so much politicizing of who is native, and what was the first nation, that when discoveries come about that change this, it's wildly controversial. The problem is, to rewrite history it would mean rewriting every textbook and university course in the world. That's the detriment. I think anything that challenges history is very risky, very dangerous, and extremely political. But I think the world has matured and history may force politics to mature, he continues. I think we should all fight for the truth and people should make up their own minds. We are just saying here's what we have found. Google will tell you that most of the searches for Oak Island also include a reference to the Knights Templar. Television uses this information to appeal to the fans of those types of theories. But I'm a historian and forensic researcher. My job is to not believe any particular theory, but let the evidence tell me where to go. I believe that many different ancient mariner societies came to Oak Island and it was an important stopover for them. We just hope our report will open the dialogue that will rewrite history as we know it. If we can just get rid of this Columbus conspiracy. Concluding, he added, I think as humans we have evolved enough to be able to handle the truth now. It's time for theory to be reflected by hard science. It's $1 trillion treasure we are uncovering in history for our children and grandchildren. Pulitzer says the sword is 100% confirmed and described it as the smoking gun to his theory. The supposed ceremonial sword came out of a shipwreck. The object first came to his attention when a man contacted the show to reveal its existence. Pulitzer states, some years ago, a man and his son were scalloping off Oak Island. When they brought up their nets, the sword came up with it. The father kept it for decades, and when he died it went to his wife, then his daughter. Then when she died many years later it went to her husband. It was he who came forward to the island and said, I think you should know about this and where it was found. Pulitzer claims the complex metallic properties of the sword match those of other ancient Roman artifacts. All this information, however, means nothing, and rightly so. Without any official examination on the sword, we cannot do anything with this information. If the sword is real and it is going to support Pulitzer's cause so greatly, then it begs the question, why all the secrecy? Along with the History Channel's claim of the island's bloodlust, with the death count apparently having to reach 7 before it will give up its gold, even though far more than 7 have already died in its attempted retrieval, you start to wonder. Is it all just a publicity stunt? Has the treasure secretly been found and stolen? Was there any treasure to begin with? Wherever there is money you will always find lies and corruption, but this should not take anything away from what has actually occurred so far on the island, the things in which we know have been found. These things lean towards the overwhelming fact that there is, or was something very significant buried there. And I think Keith Ranville is onto something, whether the sword be real or fake. The fact that the controversy surrounding the island continues to fund the hunt, is a good thing for all. The fact that there are new clues being found and new hypotheses being built as such, means the developments will continue to surface. And I promise to keep you all informed on all the developments impartially. Stay tuned for my in-depth look into Keith Ranville's new hypothesis packed with evidence that the entire network of Nova Scotian islands may be hand-built, and an underground layer filled with vaults lay buried just waiting to be discovered. By those with heart and a nose for treasure. As always,